And now moving on, we're going to take a look at the the week one spreads for the ACC in college football. Mike Brenner, always interesting to take an early look at the week one spreads in football, and of course, half of the conference has games against FCS opponents, which don't have any lines out yet.
Sure.
Half of them do have games against major opponents that have lines, and of course, the big one is Clemson and Auburn. We've already discussed this a little bit. Clemson -7 at Auburn. What do you think? You think that's just Auburn? Of course, for anyone who hasn't been watching our videos or forgot, biggest, by far, disappointing team from last year.
Absolutely. So how did they handle that coming back this year? Now you have a coach that's on the hot seat because of last year's underachieving, but you got a Clemson team, Pistol Pete, that got a taste of it, and guess what? They're still thirsty. I think they're well coached, they're healthy, and they got a Heisman Award trophy winner if he stays healthy. So I love it. I look to this as a double-digit win. I am going to be all over this like stink on shit.
And I kind of, to go with what you just said here, I'm thinking that if Clemson wins, maybe Auburn will surprise, but if they win, it'll be a blowout. This might be a good game to include with a pleaser, right? Take them at -13, something like that,
Absolutely.
and get a big
good angle there,
because,
Pistol Pete.
Good
angle.
If unless something changes, it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
And if something has changed, Auburn might win outright, right? But
Absolutely.
it's hard to see Clemson winning by like just 10 or something.
I agree. Wow, I like that.
Yeah. Then the other big game is Florida State and Ole Miss. It's gone down a bit. It was about -6.5 earlier, a couple weeks ago. Now it's down to a -4. Ole Miss, obviously a strong team. What do you think? Florida State -4 against Ole Miss.
Yeah, I noticed that line change, and it kind of got me scratching my head. I jumped on, and I didn't do it huge. I had an opportunity to take an early line. I got it at 6. I like Ole Miss plus the points.
You think so?
I do. I think Florida State's got too much to prove, and I think this is the year that Jimbo Fisher, not revealed, he's a good coach, but I really think the talent has carried him for a minute, and I don't know if he's capable of putting the talent on the field to gel like Bobby Bowden did back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't know, Pete. I like Ole Miss.
And Ole Miss's ceiling this year is definitely very high. Now, will they hit that ceiling? Will they come close to it? That's the big question, but their ceiling is certainly high. And then there's one huge game to open in the ACC.
Yes, there is, baby.
That there's so many unknowns, there's no way I'm going to give a pick on it, but I can definitely discuss it and analyze it. It's Georgia Tech and Boston College. Georgia Tech was an interesting team last year, and actually Auburn was the clear number one, most disappointing team last year, but a good case for number 2 might be Georgia Tech.
Absolutely.
And
look where they were just the year before, right?
And similar to Auburn, some handicappers were trying to time a reversal from Georgia Tech last year that never came. Now, what are they going to get this year? A lot of the same pieces are back. That's a positive and a minus. They have, they have offensive line issues, and if the offensive line isn't working, of course, the whole triple option collapses. But they're going against Boston College, who can be a very, very weak, beatable opponent. It's -3.5 at BC. Interesting game.
Absolutely. And like you, I am staying as far away from it and this is definitely my number 2 team that underachieved last year. Paul Johnson, he's got to absolutely do something different this year, and I'm wondering about him also as the coach. Pete, I don't know. Boston College also, I mean, it has its issues, but that's just too close of a clusterfuck, to be honest with you. I got to stay away from it in the ACC.
Absolutely. There's no way I'm going to bet this as of right now.
Now
but
there is one more, though, in the ACC I like.
Which one, the Wake Forest?
I like North Carolina.
Oh, I'm sorry. Woo! The reason I didn't mention that game is because it was cut off in my page here.
Okay.
We've discussed this one. It's UNC plus 2.5. Now we've already mentioned UNC in previous videos. We're both high on them. Georgia may be in a down year, but is 2.5 points enough?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It was 3 at one time, even available at 3.5 when I had first looked into this. All right, North Carolina, very well coached. This team is quietly going to be very competitive. A lot of returning starters. There's also though, a lot of expectations, and I think they'll be able to channel that. Now, Georgia, of course, Kirby Smart, first year, but he's taken over, who I think, all right, Mark Richt's a good coach, but I think he left a hell of a mess at Georgia, all right? And you got a lot of people leaving. There's a lot of unanswered questions. So Kirby Smart, can he put it together? Yes. It's a defensive mastermind he is. So that's going to take some time. Where I see the advantage is Georgia, on the lack of offense. You're going to have just an unproven quarterback, and North Carolina's defense is going to put it on them early between the hedges, baby. I like North Carolina in an actual money line win. I don't think they need any points, and I'm going to put that out there on a strong lean, but look for me to do that on
Could see it. So, most people, when they think about, ACC versus SEC, they think just automatic talent discrepancy in favor of SEC. You don't think that's in play here?
I really don't. I don't. The
right.
talent could be on paper and
Yeah.
everything else. Guess what? But it's well coached at North Carolina, and it's not all coming in fresh along with a fresh head coach,
Right,
buddy.
right.
That's an angle to cash a ticket right
All
there.
right,
Yep.
sounds good, Mike Brenner. Nice. I guess let's leave him with our best
Sure.
bet leans of the ACC in Week 1. I would take Clemson minus
Got
7.
to.
And
Got
what would you
to.
take? What would your?
I'm going to give 2 Pistol Pete because I feel so good about it. I will give Clemson and also North Carolina.
And I'll tell you what, if you think that North Carolina is going to win outright, what about this? A 6-point pleaser, Clemson minus 13, UNC minus 3.5, pays 5 to 1.
Come on. How soon can I get that in, Pistol?
You get it in right now,
Let's
probably.
go do it right now after we have a cold beer.
You think North Carolina can get a win by more than 3.5?
Yes, I do. There's no doubt in my mind.
All right, nice preview, nice segment, Mike Brenner. We'll be back to the show tomorrow.
Good stuff, Pete.
Do your research before you bet. Check out our ratings guide to see which books have the best ratings and sign-up bonuses. Open up several accounts. Shop for lines at sbrodds.com. Always be ahead of the game.